Hi guys, it's Chris, back in the shed for some cider tasting. Back in my shed after being in Devon for a week, which is very, very nice. But I'm very, very happy to be back in my shed because I like it in here. Although it's quite warm today, like 37 it said on my car dash at one point, so it's pretty warm. Going to try cider I've had before, but not for a while, from a producer I visited. I don't currently sell anything from them, but I'm kind of keen to go back. I actually sent an email to one of the guys there, but didn't get a response. So yeah, anyway, I need to work on it basically. But the producer is called Perry's. It's family owned. They're in Somerset, and there you go. They do nice labels as well. Really nice labels. I do like them a lot. This is their vintage cider, 6.7%. Yeah. What does it say on the back? Anything. Ciders are produced simply and as naturally as possible, using the very best fresh apples of the autumn harvest. Small batch techniques, wild yeast, and 100% juice. The cider also spends time in wooden barrels for good measure. So they have some in steel, some in wood, etc. Mixing things up a bit. I mean, they're reasonably big, but they do some really good stuff. So let's have a taste of this. Let's just crack it open and see what we think of it. Bit of a fizz. This is bottle conditioned. I've seen they actually bottle on site. They bottle for actually other cider makers as well, not just for themselves. Bottling lines are expensive, so if you can rent one of somebody else, because most of the time they're not running all year round, so they're just standing empty. If you're not using it yourself, you may as well rent it to somebody else. So they rent it, and also they force carbonate there and then. Not too heavily though. I was there when they were doing it. I asked them about that, and he's like, it's quite a fine balance to get right, and I agree with that. A lot of ciders can be overly fizzy, and that masks flavour. You don't want that. So let's try this vintage cider, shall we? I don't know what the blend is. I don't know what the vintage is either, actually. I assume it's 2019. Could be 2018. I'm assuming it's 2019. Quite big bubbles, quite a lot of fizz. Still quite a nice persistent head on there though. I wouldn't call that moussey, not like you would get on like a bottle conditioned cider or a keep cider. But you know, it's nice, it's retaining its head. Got a slight hint of, I'm back in the shed and get my thingamajig out. There's my thingamajig. It's got a slight hint of that pinkish Pinot Gris thing that I sometimes talk about. I've seen it talk about it quite a lot actually. I even tried a Pinot Gris this last week in order to talk about the colour. So yeah, it's very slightly hazy, but it's pretty bright. Gold, slight pink haze. Let's smell it. Ooh, lovely, rich, ripe apple. Lovely smell actually, that. It's quite delicate. It's quite perfumey. I would say apple blossomy thing going on top of the apple, I would say. Delicate, ripe, delicate baked apple. Very gentle sort of perfuminess. Nice nose. Really nice nose. Really subtle, but really enticing, I would say that. Really pleasing. It's so long since I tried it. I've written notes, but I haven't had a look at them actually. So it's so long since I've tried it. I can't remember anything about it. I just remember that I liked it. Okay. Nice tannin. Doesn't say whether it's medium or not. Barrel conditioned it does say though, which is interesting. That's got a softness to it. It's not wild though. There's a sweetness, but it's a very pleasant sweetness, very well judged sweetness, and it's a very natural sweetness, I want to say. I feel like it'll be back sweetened, but if it is, which it will be, I assume, it's done very, very, very well indeed. Very well indeed. This is not like a commercial sugariness. It feels like a natural sugariness. It's very pleasant. I think they do pasteurise though. Goes through a pasteuriser, I think, when it's getting bottled, which means it can back sweeten with sugar. So natural sugars, which will give a slightly different flavour to like sucralose or something like that. Yeah, tannin. A very, very strong sense of the skins as well, apple skins. Minerality, gentle apple, but quite sweet, ripe red apple, I'm going to say. Very ripe red apple. Minerality rather than acidity, but actually the sweetness is so gentle, and the tannins that are there give it structure. That lack of acidity doesn't make it flabby. and maybe a hint of acidity would make it even better. But it's still a really good cider, this. Yeah, I remember why I liked it. Soft, rounded. Maybe that comes from aging in the barrel as well. You know, it'll go through malolactic fermentation. So any acidity there will be a gentle lactic acid rather than a malic acid. Yeah, lovely. Really understated and subtle and gentle, but very pleasing. That's quite a hard thing to do. It's quite a hard thing to do that. I like this very much. I like it very much. And I tell you what, 6.7%, that could get very dangerous very quickly indeed. It really hides its strength. It really hides that 6.7%. It's massively quaffable, massively pleasing. Good job, Perry's. Yeah, if you can get hold of this, get hold of this. I really like it. It's not bells and whistles and dry ice and lasers and disco balls, but it does really well, and I like it very much. Okay, guys, how cool was that? I'm going to pour some more out. Well, good to be back in the shed. Currently placing an order for a pallet of cider to come to me from Herefordshire, which is slightly daunting because it costs a lot of money and I've got to sell it, but also quite exciting. So hopefully next week I'll be getting a pallet, and on that pallet will be lots of new stuff to try. That's the idea from certainly from Martin Harris in Butford Organics, Herefordshire obviously. But I'm looking at the list from Ross on Y as well. They've got some great stuff on there. The difficult part with theirs is trying to decide what to get. So I might actually have to call Albert and say, mate, just give me some guidance, because I want to buy all of it and I can't buy all of it. So what should I buy? I'm definitely going to get the major because I love that. They've got the Blakeney Red in the 750ml, which I really like. So I'm going to get that. The Dabinet in the Armagnac casks that we tried. Going to get some of that. But the rest, who knows? I don't know. Do you know? I don't know. Okay, cool. Right, guys, it's really hot, so I'm going to knock this back and say thank you for joining me. And until the next time, cheers.